So here's problem 15 from the AP Stats Test Preview. This one says that we've got a small business owner collecting data from a random sample of the amount spent on an order and the time it takes to fill the order. The resulting data were used to complete a linear regression analysis of time measured in minutes versus amount spent in dollars, and the following residual plot gets generated. Based on the residual plot, which condition for inference for the slope of the regression line does not appear to be satisfied? So when you perform inference on the slope of a population least square regression line, there are really 5 conditions that need to be established. You need a linear relationship between variables. You need to maintain independence. You need an approximately normal shape for your sampling distribution for your sample slopes. You need the standard deviation of the residuals to be approximately equal to one another at any given x, and you need randomization. Now, a few of these are pretty obvious. We do have randomization. That's explicitly stated in the problem statement. What I notice about this residual plot right away is we have this fanning pattern, right? If I was to kind of draw a curve as the top boundary for all of these points within the residual plot and another curve for the bottom boundary, what that tells me is that at lower x values, so the amount spent on the order, so at x values in this little stretch, I don't have a very big deviation between what the least square regression line predicts and what the values for this sample, the y values from the sample, actually were. But if I take a stretch of x values over here, all of the residuals on this stretch of x's are significantly further from 0, right? Significantly bigger residuals, whether they be positive or negative, significantly larger residuals than at these smaller x values. So if we look at these options here, if you check out option C, the standard deviation of the distribution of time to fill an order, so those would be the y values, is the same for each amount spent on the order. Those would be the x values. We do not seem to have that happening. We seem to have much larger deviations at much smaller deviations at lower x values than we do at larger x values. So we don't have consistent standard deviations for the residuals across all of our x values here. That's the condition for inference that falls through, and in this case that is specified within option C.